So what are we going to talk about today? We'll talk about weekly outlook of trading market, the current situation right now when it comes to trading USD, Euro, Pound, and Gold. So this webinar is for you if you are looking for possible setups that you can trade for this week. We are going to go through those different currency pairs. And I'm going to point out what is my thought process on looking for opportunities in the market and what's my bias this week. Basically, for the almost the entire month of September, itong gagawin natin. Okay, let's start with the fundamental first. No, we are going to look at the news and I'm going to explain to you the different news that I'm looking at and why I'm looking at those news. We'll look at the chart right after. We're going to point out ano yung mga setups na pwede nyo makita, ano yung mga risk ng mga setups na yan and what would be the targets as well. Okay, so let's start. So isa sa mga paborito kong website when it comes to looking at sentiments and fundamentals, it's called dailyfx.com. I really like this website. It is specific to the Forex market. Almost all the news that they have, they try to relate pairs that might impact that currency. Nakita nyo may ticker tayo dito. No? And across the website itself, anytime that they reference a currency pair, you can actually click on it. It will give you a very specific page of anything that might affect this currency at the moment. So you will get the overview. Here you have the chart in here. You can check the chart really quickly. You have the sentiments here. That is important for those who are news traders. You have support and resistance level if it's something that you trade. You have pivot levels. You have, of course, the news and the analysis. You have real-time news as well. Even economic calendars, news that might impact Euro USD, you can just find in one page. And this, for me, simplifies checking of news and fundamentals. So I really hope that you use this website as well. And hopefully, this benefits you. Normally, ang ginagawa ko, pupunta lang ako niyan, market news, market overview, something like this. And I'm just going to scour through the different headlines. Takes a lot of experience to understand the different headlines that might impact the currency pairs that you are looking at. So we are going to look for interest rate, political issues, any kind of correlations to, let's say, commodities or equities. We are going to look at two news right now, current news that I found on this list. Let's talk about gold. This is a news, an article I found. It says here, gold prices are moving lower through Asia-Pacific trading, extending overnight declines as the US dollar and treasury yields climb. So basically, the price of gold is actually declining. And the reason for that is because of the strength in the US dollar. Gold and US dollar has a reverse correlation. If the dollar is strengthening, chances are gold will be weakening. So, and it's more of the US affecting gold rather than gold affecting the US. One good reason for that is because gold is quoted in the US dollar. Yung pag tumaas masyado ang value ng US dollar, mas marami kang gold. Mas mura technically ang gold in terms of value. Doon nagkakaproblema ngayon ang gold because of the strength of the US dollar at the current moment. Yan yung fundamental ngayon ng gold. Next week, there will be an FOMC announcement regarding another interest rate hike being planned by the central bank in the US. People are thinking that they might push for a 75 basis point increase. And that is huge. Yan yung pinaka-foundation ng gold right na, yung fundamental ng gold. So Wednesday, Asia-Pacific Outlook. It says here on this article, the US stock fell overnight after a rosy US economic data supported further Fed tightening. The benchmark, which is the S&P 500, lost 0.41%. And then it also says here that there is a possible chance a surge in treasury yield weighted on the market as chances for a 75 basis point FOMC rate hike. They're talking about a possible increase of the interest rate in the United States. Bakit siya mahalaga? Now, if you have joined me on one of my webinars on fundamental analysis, one of the bases for increase in value of a certain currency is also that country's increase in interest rate. Pag tumataas yung interest rate, chances are sasama yung currency. Tataas din siya. Pag bumaba yung interest rate, chances are bababa din ang currency value ng bansa na yon. Now, the US is planning another tranche kasi ginagawa na nila. They have been increasing the interest rate for quite some time now, 0.25, 0.25, and now they are trying to increase it at 0.75, which is huge. So the US currency, the US dollar, is already strong. And now, because of these tranches of interest rate hike, mas lalong lumalakas yung US dollar. And the reason they are doing this is because meron silang, nakakaranas sila ng inflation in the US right now. One way to combat inflation, and one of the most effective way to combat inflation, is to increase the interest rate. And that is what they are doing. Okay? Now let's talk about Japanese yen. It says here that the Japanese yen came under heavy pressure, and the USD JPY, which is the currency pair that is considered as a major currency pair, saw its biggest daily gain since early August. Now, if the USD JPY is gaining, right, increasing in value, that simply means that the USD is strengthening, JPY is weakening. So Japanese yen is actually very, very weak. And it also says here that it is currently trading at its weakest level since 1998. Pinakamababa. Now, one of the fundamentals of Japanese yen is that it represents the region of Asia. So, kapag magbagsak ang Japanese yen, chances are, in general, all economies in the Asian region are also down. Actually, ngayon, walang masyadong news about Euro region and Pound region. So, how are we going to treat ganong klaseng scenario na wala tayong narinig na news that might heavily impact a certain currency? Well, we treat it as its normal fundamental. So, let's go to the chart right now. And let's start with the Euro USD pair. When you do fundamental, normally for the entire month, isang beses ka lang magpo-fundamental unless may mga bagong news. So, normally ako, magpo-fundamental ako for the entire month, sometimes even for the entire quarter. Tapos, sundot-sundot na lang ako ng tingin sa Daily FX or other website and looking at the news if ever there are news that kaka-blow up pa lang or something new. Okay, yung mga ganon that might have impact to the currency that I'm trading. So we still need to read from time to time. So here we are going to do technical analysis now. So Euro USD, this is Euro versus US dollar. Now, overall, we are on the 4-hour daily prices going straight down, basically. And that simply means that Euro is weak, USD is strong. Okay? And this has been the scenario for how many years now? Since last year, around first quarter of last year, nagsimula nang bumagsak yung euro at tumaas yung US dollar. It started basically with the pandemic. This is August. This area here is August. And this is currently September. Euro USD is falling, but right now, for the last couple of weeks, started August 23. That although currently it is still falling, right? It is still weakening. It has went through this phase, which is more of a consolidation. Okay? Technically, hindi siya consolidation, hindi siya sideways, no? If you're going to look at it more closely, it's more of a pullback, pero medyo makapal yung pullback na yan. Alright? Hindi siya yung normal pullback na nakikita natin na normally composed lang siguro mga 2-3 moves, no? But this time we are seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ilang beses nag-try umakyat yung price. So, this is more of a consolidation / pullback in a way kasi ang kapal din ng range niya. And this is because of, well, ito yung sa interest rate na nangyayari, no? Sabi natin kanina, kapag may interest rate, lumalakas ang US dollar. Okay? So, supposedly, dapat bumabagsak siya, no? Not necessarily. Kasi tranche yung ginawa ng US, no? Hindi siya isang bagsakan. Iba-iba yung ginawa niya. And every time there is scheduled news, anytime that the market is anticipating a news that will move the market, it will prepare itself. So bago pa man dumating yung news na yan, bago pa man i-announce yung news na yan, minsan nagmo-move na yung market either against the direction to prepare itself to move, let's say, lower or higher. So ganito yung nangyayari, no? Every time there will be an announcement, price will actually goes up a little bit before pushing down. Price goes up a little bit before pushing down. Okay? And next week, Feb 22, magkakaroon ng announcement yung FOMC. Tonight, meron ding talk, no? Ang ilang FOMC members, and that might impact the current scenario that we are seeing in here, which might push the price lower, but not until we see a little bit more of consolidation nature in this area. If we are going to treat this as a consolidation or as a pullback, then the highest peak would be this area here. And the previous lowest point would be this area here. As you can see, for the past couple of days, the price has already pushed through and broken the previous low. Okay, so we do want to see a lower low and a lower high on the Euro USD because it relates to that fundamental na pwede siyang bumagsak in the next couple of days or in the next couple of weeks, right? Pero right now, if you're going to look at this more clearly, so this area here where we are right now, it's a little bit consolidating, no? We do want to see lower lows eventually, and that is the current low of the market at hindi pa siya nabi-break, umakyat na agad. So we are expecting this price to either stay its course, which is a little bit sideways before it falls down, or move a little bit higher, okay, to this area here. Now, if ever you're going to trade Euro USD right now, you have to look at this structure here, right? The structure that I'm talking about with this one, this, and then this one. Okay? So there's an upward movement, a downward, and then sideways. And that relates to the previous structure here, that the price is actually moving lower, medyo malaki lang yung range niya. Now, when it comes to trading or looking at the technical aspect or technical movement of the price, always think of the market as patterned. Meaning, kapag may ginawa siyang isang bagay, uulitin niya at least 2 beses. Alright? Pero right now, yung pag-move niya, yung kanyang movement to go higher and to go lower, nakadalawa na rin. Alright? 1, 2, 1, 2. And so we are expecting we do want to see this to move a little bit higher before falling. Pero, hindi natin masasabi right now kung ang movement nito would be just to go sideways. Pwede kasi mag-sideways na lang siya. So, how are we going to trade this market? We are going to trade this based on the direction pa rin. What is the direction of the market? Currently, it's still downtrend, but there's a possibility of a pullback before the news. So, since hindi pa naman nabe-break yung previous low, right? Kung na-break yan, we are going to say, okay, talagang downtrend na siya. Pero hindi pa naman nabe-break. So, this structure here is still in effect. And so, we do want to see the price move a little bit higher in this area. It can actually move on this area here, which is the current supply zone of this structure. And kanina, actually, I was looking at this. And if you are going to remember our sniper entry webinar, no, this area here is a sniper entry. And that has already been used twice, no. So kung naabutan mo siya about 4 hours ago, that is a good area to trade. 2 beses na nangyayari yan. And there might be a good chance that this might actually happen again. If ever nag-push up ulit yung price, pwede kang mag-trade dito, pero you have to make sure that you also gonna look for confirmation. Either a reversal confirmation on the candlestick or a trend line break. Okay? Pero kung magkaroon man nun, no? Kung sakali man magkaroon nun, you can put a sell order here. Your risk is around 13 to 14. Let's say 15 na lang. Or masyado na malaki ata yun. Sige, 15 is fine, no? 15 would be your risk for your sell order. And I would assume the minimum be 1 is to 2 RR. So 30 first target here, or do 45, which is your second target. 45 would be this area here. Sakto. So your entry would be in this area, on this side of the zone. Your stop loss is 15 pips, negative 15. Your first target, which is 2R, which is times 2 ng risk, no? is 30. Ito yon, sakto siya dito sa current price. And then R3 would be on this area here. So you don't want to see the price moving and rolling sa ilalim agad-agad. Kasi this area, no, yung last zone na to, possible na magkaroon dito ng volatility kapag na-hit to. So, pwedeng biglang maganon yung market, ma-hit yung stop loss mo. So, as much as possible, close your position before it hits this area if you are trading the sniper. Pero kapag nakita mo yung price, umakyat at na-hit tong area na to, again, always look for confirmation. This time, ang kailangan mong confirmation dito would be a trend break. But once you already have that, you are going to risk 22, okay, 20, so 40 and 60. 40 is this area just below, just before the price breaks this smaller zone, the sniper zone, or in 60. Okay? So again, that all those setups no is before mag-break yung mismong structure. Okay? So it's still within that structure. So those would be the trades na nakikita ko for Euro USD. Now, going back to the 4-hour chart here, this might be a bit too far pa in the future, no? But currently we are here. We are about 100 pips before 0.98. And why am I pointing this out? 100 pips is basically the daily range of the Euro USD. So, in the next couple of days, pwede nang ma-hit yung 0.98000. Importante siyang price level ngayon because wala ka na talaga makikita, no? Ang makikita mong structure would be 2002 pa. Okay? So, that was, 20 years ago? Hindi na siya masyado magiging effective, no? But always look for or be wary kapag yung price is umabot ng 98, 95, 0.95 as well. Especially yung 95, no? Kasi dyan magkakaroon ng possible resistance doon sa price. Since wala tayong current or previous structure na pwedeng gamitin as a reference, traders would use yung concept of full numbers as reference to possibly enter the market and change the direction of the price. Okay? So those are the setup on the 1 hour. We can also go to the 5-minute. Sa 5-minute naman, which will be basically your outlook for the entire week lang, no, hanggang Friday. Sabi natin, sa higher time frame, pwede itong umakyat. And if ever umakyat to, at umakyat ng EMA 144, you can actually enter a buy order. Pero word of caution, if you actually do that, that will be against the higher time frame direction. So, you need to have confirmation when you do this. And if ever you were able to enter a trade here, as I mentioned earlier, make sure that the price is above 144, above the EMA that we have here. And make sure that your stop loss is not going to break any of these zones. Because these zones will have an impact which might push back the price to a lower time frame. And if you haven't closed your trade yet before it actually hits the zone, baka mas stop loss kayo. Okay? So, how do you trade on the 5-minute? You can use the cup strategy na tinuturo natin. You can use yung 3 Raven strategy as well, or even yung Elliott wave gagana sa 5-minute. So actually here we have an Elliott wave prior structure here coming from the bottom going up. So this might be kung tutuloy to pataas, this will be a corrective wave, okay? And so we are expecting this to actually go a little bit higher. Pero since hindi pa yan nangyayari, no, you can wait for the start of wave 1 and wave 2 and enter at the end of wave 2. Okay? So that would be for Euro USD. Let's look at Pound USD now. And let's go to the 4-hour chart first. Medyo pareho yung itsura ng Pound USD and Euro USD. After all, Euro and Pound is in the same region. However, there's a little bit of difference din naman na makikita. For example, wala ka makikitang consolidation na nangyayari dito sa Pound USD. Very clean yung Pound USD. Simply because hindi siya ganun ka-affected ng political issue sa Europe, no? Kasi isang country lang yung pound eh, unlike euro na maraming countries. Pero mas stable ngayon and walang masyadong news ang lumalabas sa UK. And that's why we are seeing a very fluid, very smooth movement of pound USD. However, just like euro USD, it it almost is correlated to each other. Halos pareho yung kanilang structure. So we are on the 4-hour chart. As you can see, the price is moving down na. Na-break na yung structure dito. Let's go to the 1 hour. Alright. So earlier, I was looking at this at hindi pa niya nabi-break yung structure na to. Okay? And since hindi pa niya nabi-break kanina yung structure na to, I was expecting the price to actually move a little bit higher up to this point here, which is the current supply zone of this structure. Current demand zone would be in this area. However, as you can see now, it has already broken that zone, our demand zone in here. And so we can say that this currency pair is strongly moving to the downside. Nagda-downtrend na talaga siya. So how are we going to trade this? On the 1 hour here, we can wait for the price to establish itself and stabilize itself and wait for a pullback. Kailangan natin ng pullback on this area right now kasi nag-move on na siya, no? Gumagalaw na siya. So kapag ganyan nakalaki yung movement natin at wala na siya dun sa mismong structure natin, we have to step back a little bit, look at the chart and try to analyze again where are we going to enter. Kasi ito yung tinatawag nating no man zone. No, kapag yung area wala na sa mga zones, no, this is a no man zone. Meaning wala kang reference on how you're going to trade, might as well do not trade. However, if you're going to go to the 5-minute chart, this we still have a possible confirmation. All right? Actually, ginawa niya na, no? Kala ko wala pa. Pero nagawa niya na. So, if ever there is a break of a zone, okay, a break of a zone, that kind of break normally has a high volatility, high volume behind it. That's why, kapag nagkakaroon ng ganyang break, normally, ang ginagawa ko is nagpa-plot ako ng previous structure like this. Okay? And doon ako, yan yung ginagamit kong zone, which is now going to become a supply zone. Unfortunately, nagawa niya na. Na-push up niya na. Pwede ka dito mag-enter, no? 13, 15, and then 40, 15, 30, and 40 sa ilalim. R2 and R3. So, 30 would be, yan, sayang, no? Nakuha niya na. And then 45 would be this one. Sayang kasi nag-move na yung market, hindi natin nakita. Alright? So those are your two targets sana kung aabot. Now, since umabot na siya, the next thing that you're going to look for in this case is to wait for a possible break. Always look for the previous low and wait for a good break. This is not yet a good break although na-touch niya na yung lowest low, no? Na-touch na ng red na yan. Pero hindi pa naman siya nagko-close sa ilalim. Once na mag-close siya sa ilalim, that is a good opportunity to look for another sell order and you're going to plot this structure naman. So this is possibly the zone here. If ever na bumagsak siya, you're going to trade here, go up, and then that is where you enter your sell trade. Okay, just like any other setup that we do, no? As much as possible, we don't go against the direction of the market on the time frame that we are trading. So here in the 5-minute here, this is still long term. This is still nawala yung camera ko. Yan. This is still downtrend. All right, unlike the euro USD. So sell tayo dito sa market na to. Okay? Sayang kasi anong oras na ba? Mag-8 na kasi kaya gumalaw na yung market. All right, normally kapag pala magti-trade kayo, especially on the 5-minute, even on the 1 hour, before 8, kasi medyo volatile na yung market around 8, no? Baka mahuli na kayo yung mga setup ninyo unless sobrang galing niyo na talaga maghanap ng setup. So before 8 p.m., sana na-analyze niyo yung market, nakakuha na kayo ng setup na gusto niyo. So this is pound USD. Let's look at the last one, which is gold. XAU. Sabi natin kanina, gold is going to be weak. Right? Pero right now, we are seeing the price going higher. Let's go first to the 1 hour. Sorry, to the 4 hour. And let's just look at the overall yearly data of gold. As you can see, gold is going lower. Meaning, it is weakening compared to US dollar. right now on the 1 hour, it just finished a pullback and has retested the last or the most recent low. However, this is a little bit weird, or not really weird, but it's a little bit different from our previous currency pair because hindi pa niya nabi-break yung lower low na to. Okay? And nagpo-pull up na siya. So, with gold, hindi niya tayo binigyan ng lower low. And so, we are not going to consider this as a downtrend. We are going to consider this as a sideway or as a possible consolidation. And in that case, no, this will be our demand zone. Our supply zone will be on top. And I'm looking at this, but I'm also looking at the previous structure here. So I'm going to use this as the basis of my zone. And that is my supply zone. It lined up perfectly with the zone retest here. I'm looking also at how the price moved from the supply zone to the demand zone. This area here is very consistent. So I would say that my Elliott wave would be this. All right, this is my wave 2. This area here is very consistent. Okay, that would be my wave 3, wave 4, my wave 5. So if this is a consolidation, we are going to see the price move a little bit higher. Where it will have a possible change of direction and move down again. Let's look at the sniper entries first, no? So our sniper entries would be this area here, specifically this one, this consolidation here. So this would be our area here. So this would be the first two areas that I'm going to look for possible setup to the downside. So sell tayo, no? Especially this small one here. Okay, this small one here. I'm going to look at this because ito yung pinakamalapit. So if ever I'm going to trade that, the risk would be around 300, around 300. Yep, 300, and then sa 600 yung ating first target, 900 ang ating second target. Okay. Okay yan, no? Pero there's also a big possibility that the price will actually move a little bit higher. Sabi nga natin, we don't have to treat it as a downtrend. It's supposed to be a consolidation because it never gave us a lower low. So if ever it actually pushed to this area, we are going to expect some sort of movement or pivot, especially in this sniper zone here, but specifically this area here. Itong area na to, bakit? This is the sniper zone. All right, this is the previous retest. Bakit itong area na to ang gusto kong i-focus? This area here is what we call a liquidity, no? Meron ditong imbalance na nangyari. Hindi masyadong parang kulang pa yung movement ng market form. Masyado mabilis itong structure na to sa pagbagsak. So, chances are babalik talaga dito sa area na to, especially on this sniper zone here, yung price. So, my expectation is I will take this still, no? If ever matalo to, let's say nag-fail, pumakat yung price, I'm expecting this to go up to this point before bumagsak. Okay? So, this would be my area of opportunity here. Now, until makita ko yung price, syempre, hindi tayo maglalagay kahit pending order, hindi tayo maglalagay, no? Kasi right now, ito technically, this is a test of this zone. So, pwedeng bumagsak talaga ulit yan, mag-retest, at pwede na mag-fail yun, no? Mag-fail na yung zone, bumagsak na siya. If ever mag-fail yung zone at bumagsak na nga talaga siya, let's say nag-test siya dito, right? At nag-fail yung zone, your next trade, tanggalin ko ta para mas madaling makita. Nakita nyo mahaba yung wick na yan, no? Isasama nyo yan, ha? So, kailangan nating kunin to. If ever mag-fail yung zone at bumalik, we are expecting for it to retest this area before bumagsak ulit. So, our next entry, kapag mag-fail na yung structure na to, would be this area here. Stop loss is on top here. Alright, and then your take profit would be target 1, target 2, RR1, RR2, and RR1.
Yung nilagay mo, coach, na mga arrow na yan, pwede pa ulit explain?
Oh, sige, sure. Ulitin ko yung arrow.
Thank you.
Okay. Scenario 1 muna tayo. So again, this is gold, no? Scenario 1. Sige, explain ko muna yung buong setup. So this is your supply zone. This is your demand zone here. All right. So what would be the possible scenario that we are going to have In this case, nandito na yung price, right? Sabi natin, the price has already tested the demand zone and push up, never gave us a lower low. So we are going to treat this structure as a sideways movement or as a consolidation. We want to see the price to go a little bit higher, push back here up to this area here before pulling down again. So if that happened, all right, first thing na makikita nating opportunity is this area here. This is a sniper entry. Okay, itong area na to ang ating pinaplot. This is a consolidation before the peak. So we are going to use that as a sniper entry. Now, if the price push back to that area, our entry would be on this side here. Stop loss is around on just above the zone. 300 pips. Area, susulatan mo yung ano ko. ulit. So 300 pips. Again, gold to a gold. And then yung ating take profit would be 600 and 900. So 600 is here and then 900 is here. This is SL stop loss. This is target 1 which is 2R. This is target 2 which is 3R. Clear? That would be the scenario kung bumalik yung price dito sa ating sniper entry. Again, sniper entries are comparably weaker compared to supply and demand zone or zone to zone strategy. So if ever mag-fail to, ang next target mo would be this one. I don't expect the price to go higher than here. Okay? Why? Kasi unang-una, our direction is down and that is our EMA. Pangalawa, I can see a small imbalance in this area here. Okay? So I do expect the price, if ever ma-break niya yung ating sniper entry, tumakyat dito. Alright? Pero same thing din, no? Entry would be here. SL would be here. Our target would be, this is around 400. Okay? 400 for, let's say 500, no? Target is 500, 1,000 to the bottom. And 1,500. So same target. Kung umakyat siya dito. Alright, so you have two possible scenarios here. Now, what if the price actually move lower na after this? Kung sakali bumagsak na siya at na-break niya na yung demand zone. Kapag na-break niya na yung demand zone, ang entry mo, syempre, would be the demand zone itself. Stop loss mo is dito. That would be around 500, I think. 600. Alright, 600. And your first target will be 1.2. And your next target would be 1.8. That is for gold. We do want to see gold to go lower kasi yung fundamental pa rin natin is sobrang lakas ng US right now. So we are expecting Euro USD, Pound USD, and Euro USD to tumble to a lower price level, especially next week. Pero we still have to consider then, no? Now, habang wala pa yung announcement, possible pa rin na mag pullback ng konti yung mga prices. So yun yung hinihintay natin, pullback before we enter the market. That's it, no? That's it for the outlook, no? So we do this kind of webinar so that you would have an insight on how I look for trades, the thought process behind the trades that I do. And as nakita nyo, marami tayong scenarios, no? So ang hinihintay talaga natin dito, confirmation of what scenarios might actually pan out. And once we have that scenario, we already laid out the plans on how to enter, what would be the stop loss, what would be the targets that we have for for specific scenarios. So sana may naintindihan kayo dito sa mga pinag-usapan natin today. Sabi ni Hana, minsan coach din na-hit yung TP at na-hit na yung SL dahil sa laki ng TP, ng take profit. Okay lang yun. Walang problema doon, Hana. Actually, kahit ako, no, there are a lot of times wherein yung mga trades ko hindi nagpa-pan out because sobrang laki ng TP ko, yung 1 to 1:3, malaki yun. But again, it doesn't matter to me kasi halimbawa ang TP ko normally is 1:3, right? Pero ang stop loss ko is basically just 1. So kahit matalo ko let's say ng 3 beses, manalo lang ako ng isa. Okay, break even, no? So kung matalo ko ng 2, manalo ko ng isa, panalo pa rin ako. So I really don't care kung masyadong mataas yung TP ko as long as my minimum is 1:2. Kasi for me, anything below that is just a waste of time. You are just gambling. Kasi yung target mo, SL mo is 1, tapos yung take profit mo is also 1. So parang basically it's 50-50. So it's no different from gambling. So might as well have a higher TP 1:2, 1:3, okay? Because that simply means that you don't have to win every time. You only have to win not even most of the time. Kahit nga 33% out of 10, 3 times ka lang nanalo, at the end of the day, you're still going to be break even. Ayun yung kagandahan nung risk management na mas mataas yung reward kaysa sa nire-risk mo. Okay lang po ba sa next SNR? SNR? Support and resistance mag-TP? Pwede naman. As long as ako normally, ngayong mga buwan na to, nag-fix ako kasi walang structure na for reference. So normally fix ang aking TP. I always just follow 1:2, 1:3. 1:3 most of the time. Okay? Yeah, so yes, it's up to you, no? As long as you are managing your risk, kahit anong TP mo, basta you are managing that should be okay. So that would be almost the opportunities for the rest of September. Yung fundamental analysis natin saka yung technical analysis natin. Yeah. Tatagal yan ng 2 linggo. Anyway guys, so that's it. Maraming salamat for watching and for joining the webinar. I hope you learned something and hopefully you can apply this on your trading. All right, for this week and up until next week. So maraming salamat guys and I'll see you guys next week.
Medyo nakaka-gain ako ng knowledge para konting-konti na lang at ako ay mag-office.
Nice.